So, people, last Dynamite, we saw the debut of Thekla. As Jamie Hayter was being interviewed, getting ready to talk about what was next for her, after losing one hell of a match to Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing, the lights went out, and when the lights came back on, Thekla was in the ring and she had attacked Jamie Hayter. Now, Thekla is someone that I remember from watching her in Stardom. I remember seeing her wrestle against Mariah May in Stardom. She wrestled against Marina, what's her name? I always screw her last name, Shara or whatever. I always screw her last name up. The one that just fought against Toni Storm. Maria Shara Kawa? Okay. I'm gonna leave that at that before I mess her name up again. Okay, I always screw her name up until I see it. Once I don't even have to hear someone say it. Once I see it, I get it. Okay. I also saw her wrestle against Athena. I've seen her wrestle several times in Stardom, and that's one of the things I love about having, different promotions, is because you have this talent. Like, I knew who Mariah May was when she came to AEW, and you want to know something? Let me just get this in here before I move on. To all of these AEW haters, isn't it funny how WWE is not concerned about AEW and WWE and AEW, their wrestlers suck? But isn't it funny how AEW have all this talent that WWE is thirsting to try to get their hands on once their contracts end? Isn't it funny how they're trying so hard to get these people? Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, Thekla she's one of these hard-hitting, smash-mouth type, female wrestlers that she can go, man. And I believe, you see, Thekla would be one. If she went to the WWE, they'd take that away. You look at anybody, look at Asuka. Go back and look at Asuka's, Asuka's matches in Japan were hard-hitting. Asuka's not the same in WWE. WWE brings that soft drama, General's Hospital type shit. Well, that's what they do. And they take you away from what makes you stand out. I think Tekla's a fine fit in AEW. Look, here's what you're going to have when it comes to professional wrestling. You're going to have wrestlers that they're good in the ring, but they're not good at promos. Or their promos are cool, but they're not that good in the ring. Then you're going to have some that, those that they're good at both. My thing is, I don't care how good you are at promos. We don't need to see 30 minutes of a bunch of talking every week, followed up with the same thing the following week. And before you know it, some of these feuds are going on well over a year, man. And the only thing they do to camouflage it is sometimes they'll throw a third or a fourth person into the mix. So it becomes, 3-way and 4-way matches, and they fight at this pay-per-view, and one person takes a hiatus and then comes back later and it picks up where it left off with, 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4. And it just gets to the point where it becomes overkill, and it's like, what are we doing here, man? Why are we getting so many like stale feuds, just, especially just like coming back, especially with anybody, but especially when it comes to these like older wrestlers who are well past their primes, and they put these slow-paced matches on because that's all they can do, and yet the little minions jump up and, this is awesome, you deserve it, because why? They're slaves to these individuals. I'm taught and programmed that I'm supposed to cheer this nonsense. It is what it is, but it's a different day and time, man. It's a much different. It's a different day and time. Again, I go into the pay-per-view where they had Tony Schiavone interview these two young ladies that was a part of that wrestling movie that was out, that was released, and he asked them, what did you learn about professional wrestling that you didn't know before? And one of them said, I learned that I know I'm going to win before you do. Right? Oh, that was so disrespectful. The fuck do you mean it's so disrespectful? It's the fucking truth. Not to mention, you have all of these wrestlers who sit up on all these different podcasts and different shows and tell you about how, oh, they had to put the belt on me because he couldn't sell tickets. And then they called me in the back and said, all right, we need you to put him over tonight. And I said, this isn't going to go well. And this, that, they didn't believe me at first, but then they realized, yeah, they had to put the belt on me. And you're sitting here talking about how it's scripted. You tell stories about how you hide your blade to cut your forehead. So how you see, my point when I bring that up is because you people do not respect the truth. You hate the truth. And the truth is you want to make yourself believe that pro wrestling is a real sport. You want to make yourself believe that you're watching real fighting. So when this woman says, I found out that I'm going to win before you do, was it because she was backstage somewhere and she got leaked? It got leaked that, oh, you know, wrestling isn't real. We scripted. We know who's going to win it. And, oh, shit, I didn't know that. And even if so what? You guys like to be lied to also, right? You don't like the truth. But any wrestler can sit up here and talk about who's who and who was what and who they didn't like and who they had a fight with in real life and why they don't like this person to this day. And it's all a freaking work. But she was wrong for being honest. The wrestling audience that sits there believing this dumb shit that you're watching a real fight, that this isn't scripted, this is just two men and two women in there just going at it like for real, you're a fool. So anyway, Thekla is now in AEW to display her art form there. And I think she's a solid fit. And I love this because it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere like, wow, I had no idea that she was coming. And why I find this a beautiful thing is because we know that recently WWE released several people. And, you know, you never know who may be coming. I don't pay attention to those YouTubers that make videos, you know, 7 wrestlers coming to AEW, you know, 7 wrestlers coming to WWE. We don't know that. It's just an assumption. We don't know that. You know, now I saw a video where this guy's talking about Shayna Baszler and I forget who else. 2 previous released women from WWE is coming to TNA. Where do you get this shit from? How do you know that that's where she's gonna go? It's possible, right? But how do you know this? How do you know that that's where they're going? And this is just people speculating. And when these guys start talking in their videos, you guys are so easily programmed that that's what happens. You're not listening to logic and reason. You're listening to someone's opinion that has no confirmation from anywhere that this is actually going to happen. But because you want it to happen, you go, oh, that's great. That's awesome. Right. Why is it awesome if they go to TNA? Right. I'm just saying, wherever she decides, that's their business. I'm not telling you where they should go. But I am telling you that if you look at what's going on in TNA right now, you think just adding another wrestler to the roster is going to fix their problem? Not to mention, Shayna Baszler needs you know, didn't I say that TNA, they need to reconstruct themselves. They need a rebrand. Well, I wasn't talking about the way Trick Williams was talking about this. It's now called Trick and A, stupid bullshit. But I'm saying, I said they need to rebrand, and I don't mean rebrand the letters in their name. I'm talking about they need to really have a facelift with their company on how things are done, and really they need to find their way again. Well, just having Shayna Baszler come there, Shayna Baszler's gonna need to be able to get loose. She's gonna have to be used differently. Because in the WWE, NXT, like I said, she shined in NXT. Once she came to the main roster, she was really not much of shit. She teamed up with Nia Jax at times, and she never shined. And I know what that's about. I know I told you guys before. You see, one thing about WWE is they like eye candy for women. And that's why when it comes to certain wrestlers, let's look at the women that you know, Shayna Baszler doesn't come into the ring with makeup all on her face. She's not walking around with fake body parts. She's not stripping and shaking ass. She's just a kick ass. They don't know how to deal with people like that. You understand? No, we'll have her on the roster, and this is what I'm saying. This is when NXT was respectable. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Shayna Baszler, she came at a point in time where, you know, they had a nice roster. She was leading that charge for the women's division. When she came to the main roster, people had big, anticipation for what she was gonna do, and that's not what happened when she got there, man. And you see the way she was treated. But if she decided she wanted to try to go to AEW, it wouldn't be great then, would it? It would be a problem. Oh, why she gotta go to the AEW? Well, why did she have to get let go by WWE? Once again, I don't argue with people want to go. Just like Mariah May, we keep hearing this talk about her going to WWE. We kept hearing talk about Toni Storm retiring. Then we hear, oh, she's planning on going to WWE. When that's not the case, here's the attitude. Here's the, damn, let me take this personal, which nobody cares. You take it how you want to take it. The problem is, for the people that think that, the grass is always greener in WWE, you got to ask yourself how people feel when they have mouths to feed and bills to pay and they're let go. Yeah, I mean, at times, AEW, every company's going to, at some point, there's going to be releases. There's going to be people wanting their release. There's going to be people that basically, who are just let go, and that's just the way it goes. But my point is, the fact that you have other places to go, that's what happens. Now, you see what Mariah May was in AEW? If she does go to WWE, you'll see the difference in her. Because WWE will not put her in a better position. They won't. I can see another Barbie doll role coming on. I can see another conceited, eye-rolling, arms folded, I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 to the point where the brutality is not there, but the attitude and the gimmick is, let's make her some little prissy, bougie, snobby, don't even believe, like I said, they take the Mean Girls from that movie, The Mean Girls, yeah, with Lindsay Lohan, and stick them into a fucking, wrestling ring, and like, these little prissy, it's not even believable that they can wrestle. This is what I don't like about Tiffany Stratton's fucking character, man. This is what I don't like about so many of their characters. That's why I say look at them where they were and look at them where they are now. And you see the difference. And you see why these wrestlers get in there and get to the point where when they can wrestle, they choose AEW. When they just want a paycheck and don't care how the fuck they use, they choose WWE until they get there and realize, damn, they're really not using me right at all. It is what it is. But Thekla, I'm glad that she's in AEW, and we'll see how things go from here, man. And like I said, it was a beautiful thing because nobody saw this coming. And for all the people that was gone from WWE, everybody's not going to be a fit just because they come from WWE, and everybody is not going to come in front of a camera on AEW TV or anywhere else and just knock it out the park just because they're from the WWE. Big deal. And if he wasn't used right in WWE, he wasn't a draw in WWE, unless AEW can find a way to reshape your character and help you to develop and take the ball and run with it. What do you bring to the table other than, I used to be in WWE? That's about it. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys right now. Catch you guys on the next video.